It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon here in Catalunya.
Welcome to Front Row Racing's Friday's Cup here at Spain. I'm Front Row Racing NW, joined by Front Row Racing DP. How are you today, DP?
I'm good, thank you, mate. Although I think we do really need to get you using your other commentary name of either Adam on Hill or or we could pick a new one. But yeah, I'm good, thank you, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Just looking forward to the racing. Should be a good event.
I'm looking forward to it as well. And you know what? It's interesting because I found out a couple of bits of information that you may not know, right? And the first part is that Stocky isn't Stocky. Peter's not there. His cousin's racing. So it'll be interesting to see how his cousin gets on. I actually said to him, I don't know if you heard me, but I said, well, you just have to race and see how you do. You may get a place before your cousin does. So it'll be interesting to see how he gets on. So yeah, Stocky isn't Stocky. I don't know what his name is. We'll have to make one up for him.
Well, Stocky, or aka Stacky, is on his outlap at the moment.
He is. I've also got an additional bit of information here as well from the outside world. From Richie Davies. He's just called me ignorant. I'm only just getting to his message now. I was quiet and wasn't responding, Richie, because I was letting Adam do his introduction. Richie's PSN isn't working and we're all fine. So we're lucky for that one, Richie. So yeah, Stocky's cousin, he's out on track. It will be interesting to see how he gets on. But also, we've got two new drivers in today, in Stringy, B92, and Hindle. Now, Hindle watched the broadcast on Wednesday and was interested in joining the league, so he's found himself in Fridays.
Well, that's it. It's just simple as that. You watch the stream of the World Championships at Wednesday at 7:30, or the World Series Thursdays every night at 7:30, and then send a page inviting the Front Row Racing Twitch a message. While watching the stream, you could be racing, showing off your talent.
That is very, very true. Now, when it comes to the Fridays, I mean, we've mentioned it a couple of times now, we don't impose any kind of penalties or on the drivers, we don't add anything additional. We just let them race and see how they get on. The cleaner they race, the more chance they get of getting a reserve drive into the league races, and that's where the stewards like to apply their penalties. There's something I'd just quickly like to say though, if people are watching my own personal live stream, which I've got on now, you are more than welcome to leave my live stream and go and actually find the Front Row Racing Twitch channel and watch the live broadcast on there. That's the official one. I'm just recording it so that any of my viewers that have followed me on other games can be introduced into the Front Row Racing live broadcast on the Twitch. So Adam, who are you watching? Anything interesting seeing?
I'm on board with Stocky's cousin, just entering the last few corners of the new part of the track, which no one likes. He's had a little bit of a wiggle. He's going into the last corner now. Sector 1 time of 22.250, Sector 2 time 29.8, Sector 3 30.5, a lap time of 1:22.5. Currently first.
Now, I'm riding on board with Stringy at the moment. I'll tell you what, it's been fairly smooth and clean. He's not overly quick in Sector 1. He's not too bad in Sector 2. Struggling a little bit in Sector 3, but still keeping it kind of smooth and cleanish. And he's going to cross the line. Is he going to improve on his previous time? He does. So he's now just moved himself up to second place. So we've got Stocky's cousin currently sitting on pole, and Stringy. They're the only two that have set a lap time at the moment.
On board with Hindle at the moment. He's on an he's on his time lapse. Sorry, on his D options tyres. Sector 1 time 22.0. Sector 2 time 29.9.
Oh, my bad's just gone and stole second place with a 124.1. Currently in a Sauber. He had to disappear from last night's race due to his brother's dog passing away, which is a little unfortunate, so he did what any brother would do. Took him a load of sleeping pills and medication and said, have a good night, mate.
Sorry to interrupt, Hindle's gone first, a 1:21.9 in his first FRR-idays race.
Well, let's go and ride on board. You ride on board with him, I'm riding on board with him. 22.0 Sector 1, 29.9 Sector 2, 29.9 Sector 3. They're pretty good sectors. Now, I know Kev 187, when he was setting his best times, he was in the 20s for Sector 1. I think it was. No, it was 22.1s. No, 21.9s. He was in the 21s, he was in something, he was in a car. Oh, I have just seen though, Hindle, he may be gaining some time in that middle sector from using a lot of the inside curb at the fast left-right going up the hill. But still, Sector 1 time's not too bad. Sector 2 times are 29.9. So he may have gained a little bit through the fast left-right, but obviously we don't apply penalties. What we do is, if a driver's using too much off track, we just let them know you're off track a little bit too much there. And if you were in a league race, you'd be looking at getting a penalty. And we've just lost Stocky's cousin. He may still be able to rejoin though.
Okay, on board with Hindle crossing the line. A brilliant lap time.
Yep. He has improved on his lap. He didn't improve, well, I don't know if he did improve on his Sector 2, but Stocky's cousin actually had the fastest Sector 2 time with a 29.8. Michael Mulrine currently sat in 3rd place with a 22.9. Now, I know he's not been doing a lot of racing lately because he's recently had a baby. Do you reckon he's going to get on with looking after a baby and trying to race cars?
I tell you what, that's going to be a hard job. It's hard enough around this track, but with probably a lack of sleep, it's going to be very hard indeed. And we have String B 92, last corner. He's crossing the line at 1:24.8 on the prime tyres. A good time.
That is not a bad time on those prime tyres. That could be why his sector times are down a little bit. I've just noticed as well, we've got Connor on track on an outlap. He won the World Series race last night in what turned out to be a very dramatic event. It took us quite a while to get through the race, but it was a very dramatic event once the race was done and dusted. So he's just setting himself up to start a flying lap as he comes round the final corner now. Be interesting to see what sort of sector times he does. I'm just going to keep an eye on the sectors. We've lost Hindle as well. That's not too good. Hopefully he can get back in. I don't know what he's done there. Although, I mean, I have experienced it before where people have wanted to retire from a session and by accident clicked on quit. Especially if they're used to having returned to garage on.
Okay, Konzo has set a Sector 1 time of 22.5.
That's only the 3rd fastest at the moment.
He's going to have to look up to picking up some more time because he won the race yesterday and I'm sure he had quicker quali pace than this.
Well, yesterday he actually qualified on the prime tyre. So we never really got to see what kind of pace Connor had. On the options in qualifying, he's only done a 30.1 Sector 2, so perhaps he's just warming himself up a little bit.
Yes, possible.
Now we've still got Paul in the pit lane, so he's not gone out yet. He's either... Oh no, he is on an outlap apparently, so he is he's out there getting ready. I just want to see what Connor's final sector time might be though.
He's exited the last turn, going up to the start-finish line, and he does a 1:22.979.
So that's gone and slotted him into 3rd place, but I reckon he's going to go for another flying lap, and he's going to try and stick it on pole position there. I'm going to see if I can quickly find Paul. Paul is... I think he's on his first time lap.
Yes, he is.
So as he's heading up to turn 4 then. First sector of a 22.0. Oh, he's running wide though.
Loads of understeer there going into the Repsol corner.
It is a tricky corner, that one, for understeer, as is the left-hander here. I mean, how did you get on through those corners in your race yesterday?
It was more of take a little bit less speed going into the corner just to deal with the understeer, but it wasn't too bad. He's going through Campster now at the moment, well handled, kept it all in the track.
So only a 30.3 sector 2 time though. He's a little bit off pace there, about 4 tenths ideally, well 5 tenths off the quickest sector 2 time at the moment. Yep, 5 tenths off.
And I personally know that Paul was getting quicker sector times. His sector 1 time yesterday in a practice before the race was a 20 in the 21s in sector 1.
He's got a nice beautiful line through that final chicane. It could give him a good run to the line. Only 4th place though.
Maybe he's just getting a little bit warmed up for the next flying lap. He's going to want to attack this, get every corner hooked up, and let's hope he can just get a little bit further up the grid, because I know he wants to start in the front row of the grid.
Now Connor has gone for an additional flying lap or 2, but he's not up in sector 1 at all. He's only done a 22.5 in sector 1. He would have been hoping for a much better lap time there. Okay, who else have we got out on track then? Let's have a look. Stringy just crossing the line. It's only a 24.9, still running the prime tyre though. Jim also crossing the line at 23.0, that's only 6th place for him. Michael Mulrine, he's just started a flying lap I think.
I'm still on board with Paul. He looks like he's improved his sector 1 time. His sector 2 time of 29.5. I'm sure it's quite similar to his last lap.
Let's just have a look here. Michael Mulrine's done a 22.3 in sector 1, so he's trying to push hard. Paul has improved a massive amount in sector 2. That's going to be Paul.
Oh, second.
He was slow in the final sector.
And that's the sector he's been struggling with.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, if he's got his car set a little bit more for low aeros, he is going to struggle in that final sector. But that middle sector would suggest that he's not running that low an aero. Perhaps he just didn't carry enough speed from one of the corners.
And Mulrain has had a lock up into turn 10. And it's going to cost him a lot of time, at least a second there.
Now I have seen that Hindle has tried to rejoin and has has gone again. Obviously Adam, I shall leave it up to you as to whether you want to do any kind of safety car restart at the end of this qualifying session to get them back in and give them a chance of running a safety car restart, or whether you just want to just keep going and carry on.
I suppose the Fridays Cup, it's about giving everyone a chance, so if we're still having issues, a safety car restart may be an option.
I don't think it's a case of having issues. For whatever reason, 2 drivers have dropped out. I mean, I don't think they left through having any kind of on-track issues. Hindle has tried rejoining. The thing is, when people do rejoin as well, you never know what goes through their mind while they are rejoining. Stringy is using a little bit too much apex curb through parts of sector 2 on the prime tyres, or sticking it in the gravel is not going to help him either. But on those prime tyres, he has improved his sector 1 time. I'm just quickly going to check, see whether either of the fellows...
Yeah, we've had a message from Hindle.
Yeah, so he's asking if any just been disconnected, any chance of another invite. And obviously, once you get sent an invite when the sessions start, you can rejoin through that invite for quite some time, which I guess he has tried to do, but it will only let him spectate while qualifying is going on. So what I would probably suggest we do is, once we get to the end of this qualifying session, we'll do a little safety car restart. But what it will mean is that the live feed will have to come to an end for a moment and we can fire them back up. Oh, Hindle has joined again. Excuse me, so we'll see what happens, because if he stays in with us, then we can just continue on. Now, Stocky's cousin, I'll just have a look while you're doing the broadcast if you stay on track. I'll have a look if he's back online. Okay, he's actually not online at the moment, so I would suggest that as long as Hindle's in with us, Parc Fermé isn't on, so I reckon we could just carry on and go for the race. Although one issue we may have is if he's not aware of the reload the game situation, then that could be a little bit of a problem for him. But it is the FRR-idays, so I reckon we just we crack on and we see how it goes.
Definitely. And Mulrain MUFC is just coming up to the last corner. He's currently sector 1 22.6, sector 2 30.0, lap time of 1:22.659, currently 5th on the options, but he seemed to be struggling on that time lap.
He did a bit. Now I'm just having a quick look here if anyone's posting purples. Not really. Connor's on a flying lap. It says Stocky's actually on a flying lap as well, but he's not actually online at the moment. Mulrain on another flying lap. Jim is in the garage, and so is Stringy with 2 minutes left. If they want to get another lap in, now is the time to get out onto the track.
On board with Konzo on an out lap, just gone past Campster Corner. He's a little bit of weaving, just get a bit of heat in the tyres, because that's important if you want to get the most out of the next lap. He's got 1 minute 47 seconds to go, so he's probably going to get one lap out of this, and he's got to put every little bit of effort in.
Okay, Paul is also on an out lap, trying to get those tyres warmed up a little bit. Stringy's just come out of the pits, but I don't think he's got enough time to actually get round and put a flying lap in. He's going to be very, very close to the start-finish line. We'll have to keep an eye on that one, but I'll hand over to you as we're getting to the last minute of the qualifying session.
Okay, on board with Konzo going into turn 1, nice and tidy, leading into turn 2, nice flowing movement. He's going into turn 3, the Renault corner, keeping it nice and tight, a little bit of understeer sending him out wide, but still keeps it nice and tidy. Going up to the Repsol corner, turn 4, keeps the speed well, keeps the car nice and controlled. Going up to the turn 5 Sayat corner, he's taken it tight, he's gone right to the end of the track, stayed well. He's keeping good speed, but sector 1 time of 22.5 doesn't seem as quick as he should be doing if he wants to challenge for the top 2 grid slots in qualifying. He's gone a little bit wide on the Campster corner into the gravel, but he's carried on. Sector 2 time of 30.4, leading out of turn 10 just now, kept it nice and tidy. Into turn 11, keeping it tidy still, good flowing movement here from Konzo. Taking a long turn 12 into turn 13, keeping it nice and tidy. Entering the tricky turn 14 and turn 15, taking a bit of curb as he goes along, but still well controlled. Out of the last corner, he's looking at a 1:23, I think. The screen went off, sorry about that.
His sector 2 was a little bit slow there. Now Hindle has joined the left again, so I think we will do a safety car restart for these guys, and we'll get Hindle back in. We'll give him the chance. Now Stringy did manage to make it to the finish line, but what's interesting there is I think he may have either pushed too hard to actually get round to that finish line. He's possibly overheated his tyres too much, and he's ended up dipping a few tyres in the gravel. Now he did spend most of this session actually on the prime tyre and has gone onto the options quite late. So he'll be hoping to try and improve on his lap times here. I'm just not sure if he will, because he's pushing it slightly too hard. And for me, he's the only one that I can actually watch at the moment. Although I did see on the live stream a few moments ago, Paul went wide in the final sectors.
Yeah, he's the last one on track now. He's coming up to the last corner. It's going to be push and go if he's going to improve.
He's
he did third
place.
What a lap!
He has gone up to third place. That's, I mean, to be fair, he was off track a little bit, but it was more wides than cuts or anything like that. But he's not done too bad to chuck it up to third place there. But yeah, I think it's only fair at this point that we now give a bit of a safety car restart. So I'll go and talk to the drivers and arrange that with them.
Okay, I will explain what a safety car restart is. So basically we will end the live stream just temporarily for about 1 to 2 minutes. We will create a new lobby, get the drivers to close the application down, launch the application again, and then they will start the race. It'll be a 25% race as per normal with the Friday's Cup, and we'll give them 1 lap to get into position. If they do need an additional lap to get into position, we will allow that, and once they're in position we will give them a little nod and they will go racing at the first safety car line. So we will be back in about 2 minutes, if you could bear with us. Thank you for that.
Good afternoon and
welcome back to the race of Front Row Racing Friday's Cup here from Spain. We are doing a safety car restart, as you saw earlier in the coverage. The instance where drivers are getting disconnected from the lobby meant we're going to do a safety car restart. As will happen, we'll be on lap 1. The cars will be fed information from Front Row Racing DP in what positions they qualified in. They will then have to get into their positions on the first safety car lap, which will be at a controlled, at a sensible pace. Then once they have got into the qualifying grid order, then the race will begin at the first safety car line. We're hoping to get this done in 1 lap, but 2 will be there if needed. Okay, so this is the first safety car lap. So basically the cars will be getting in order at the moment, and they will be doing a controlled pace, and this is necessary so there's no accidents, no wings coming off, no cars getting wrecked. We want this to be a clean lap at controlled pace, but this also benefits the drivers as they get 1 less lap of, well, let's say race wear on their tyres. This is controlled, so they'll get that little bit of wear, so maybe can go a lap longer. But we're hoping to get underway on the after the first safety car lap. As you can see, the cars are weaving to get a bit of temperature into the tyres. They're not going full out on pace yet, so they need to get the temperature into the tyres, make sure the brakes are working correctly, so when they do get
We're going at the end of this lap.
There we go. Front Row Racing DP has confirmed that we are racing at the first safety car line.
That we are. Now is Hindle is still leading, but I've got Paul's name in the middle of the screen. That's the second time that's happened. Oh well, okay, so they are started, they're away. The race is a go.
As Hindle leads into turn 1, he has a Farf bar behind him, aka Paul, with Stringby right behind in 3rd place. Looks like we've got away nice and cleanly, which is always good to see. The Fridays drivers showing they have the skill to do a safety car restart under some pressure.
I've got, I'm looking at the back of the field here, 5th place, my bad, with Michael Mulrine all over the back of him, and Dave the Harper, who's joined us for the race, who started at the back of the grid. It looks like they're having a nice little, I was going to say threesome, but I probably really shouldn't. Nice little 3-way battle at the back of the grid.
And I'm on board with Paul. He's trying to chase down Hindle as Stringby goes into the DRS sign. And Hindle's trying to defend from Paul. Paul's just backed off a little bit. I think he's going to find his moment and choose it wisely. Maybe just probably on the start-finish straight, get a little bit of slipstream, take him into turn 1.
It is possible that he could be doing what I would perhaps usually do here. Oh, Paul's gone wide. That's not what I would usually do.
Well, you said it. It must be true.
No. Oh, I tell you what, Stringy is all over the back of him here. Now, it's a bit confusing because Paul's name is showing above pretty much every single car. I know he likes a bit of attention, but this is taking it a bit too far. Stringy going for it up into turn 1. Can he make it work? Easy.
And that is a shocker. I've never seen Paul getting taken that easy.
Now, it's possible that he could be trying something different from his setup that he used last night, because he had speed last night, let's face it. But he could be trying something different as just an additional bit of practice. Or what I was about to say was, perhaps he's doing what I would do, and that is, when you're racing against a couple of new people, just perhaps sit back a moment and follow them and see how they get on. Perhaps see if they're using too much of the track like Paul may have just done there. But yeah, just follow them, see where their strengths might be, where their weaknesses might be, and just get a judge of the drivers that have joined us for this session today.
Well, one fact is that 75% of pole seaters have gone on to win the race, so Hindle's on to a good one for his debut race. Will he increase that statistic?
Sorry to interrupt. I think something's happened between Michael Mulroy and My Bad. My Bad was facing the wrong direction. Michael is going slow to let him back through. That's what we call driver respect. Now, in our league races, we do say if you take someone out, just wait for them. Penalise yourself so we don't have to. In the Fridays, the drivers don't really have to do that, but if you do, it shows you've got that driver respect that really you should have. So Michael has given the position back, but now he's in DRS range to attack Jim into turn 1. Is he going to do it? I don't think he can. It's too far away.
That's nice to see some driver respect, especially in the Fridays Cup. It just shows you that no matter whether you join late, join early to a league, you're always going to have that bit of respect. You know what is right for the league. You know what's right for your racecraft.
Definitely, there's a right stonking battle brewing here between Paul and Paul, according to my screen. But it's Stringy and Paul, Stringy and Farber. Paul's really closed up to him, and right behind him is Connor. Connor's in a similar position now to what he was in last night's race. Sat in 4th place, just watching what happens with the cars ahead. So, now we're a few laps into this race, Adam. How did your race go last night once we got going under the safety car?
Yeah, it was great. I ruined my race at lap 8 when I pitted too early. So yeah, it's a good race, but it's quite harsh on tyres.
It is harsh. It is harsh on tyres. I mean, sorry, go on.
I was just about to say that being a 25% race, this should be a 1-stop, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's a 2-stop as Paul gets past Stringby for second into turn 1.
There was a lovely move there by Paul, and Connor's now on the back of Stringy. I mean, I watched the footage of the World Championship race, and I was listening to some of the comments that you made about tyre wear around here while you was doing the commentary on the World Championship. And did you find that the tyre wear was harsher than you expected, or was it like just as bad or not as bad? Because you knew it was going to be bad. It was just a case of what level of bad.
The weird thing was, I knew it was going to be bad, but the prime tyres seemed to... I know they do go a little bit longer than the options, but they wasn't getting worn down as quickly as... The options were very quick to go down. After about 4.5 laps, I was suffering.
Yeah, I mean, the options, they never really do last long. I mean, if they last 10 laps, they're good for 5 of them, and then the other 5, it's all about how much time can you not lose. So it is difficult.
Oh, Stringby's got past Paul. Paul's made a mistake, and he's got past Stringby on before the last turn as Konzo's going into the pit.
I think Paul's going to be taking the position back though into turn 1, so Connor's the first to pit. That means he's going to be going 11 laps, and Paul is going for the move up the inside. Can he keep it though? Because Stringy's got a decent line coming through 2 and 3.
But while all this is happening, Hindle is just getting away, and this is the worry for Paul. He can fight Stringby all he wants, but maybe it's just worth taking him while he's in the pit. Maybe perform an undercut.
That is quite possible. I mean, I'm wondering if that's what Connor's gone for here, going for the undercut. But what he may find is that going 11 laps on the prime tyres is not going to be very nice. I was about to say, for my race, the prime tyres, they came up to temperature. Oh, we've got Hindle lagging all over the place at the moment. I was riding on board with him, but I may have to ride off board with him. I just wanted to ride on board to see how he was doing for his lines and stuff, but it looks like he's had a bit of a dodgy moment there. Either that or the connection has just got really bad on him. But yeah, the prime tyres, it took a while for the temperature to come up, but then the grip just wasn't there in them for me. Every time I went to press the brake, the car just wanted to go sideways.
And we have Stringy all over Paul, but making some mistakes. He's gone into the pit. He's hit the pit wall.
Now, I do know that when the automatic systems take over on the way on into the pits, it is very regular that the game likes to send you into that pit wall. Thankfully, though, it doesn't come with any damage. At least I hope it doesn't. Now, the question is, where's Connor? Because Connor was behind Paul.
Conzo's just come out of the last turn. He's coming down start-finish straight, racing on board with him at the moment. Let's see if the undercut has worked for him.
I don't think it will.
Oh, no, it's not.
He's miles behind. Now that could be because the prime tyre is so horrible through turns 1, 2 and 3 with no temperature, but because Connors are up to temperature, he's going to catch him now, look. So he didn't get an undercut, but he's catching him while Stringy's tyres need to warm up.
So would you call that an overcut?
I'd call it a dodgy haircut, I think. Actually, I can't comment, my haircut's right bad. Okay, I'm just going to try and ride on board a little bit with Hindle here and see if it doesn't start lagging all over the place. So he's on lap 7. If I was in this race, I'd be looking at going lap 7, lap 8, perhaps even lap 9 or 10 on these option tyres, because they could potentially do it. Is he going to go for the pits though? No, he's not. So he's going to continue on for another lap. And in a way, I'm not overly surprised that he's doing so. Now, looking on the live stream that I've got next to me, it looks like Connor is still right behind Stringy, and he'll be looking to get past as early as he can, but it also looks like there's a battle going on just ahead of them between Michael Mulrine and Jim. So it'll be interesting to see how they get on.
Oh, a lovely camera angle there. Alright, Mulrine is got DRS. He's about 2-3 temps behind. He's lining up. He's having a look, but I think he's going to wait.
Excuse me. Now, one thing I did notice as well, there is a bit of a visual delay sometimes on the DRS, looking like it's been open, but I mean, I'm watching the live stream and it's delayed, so you're right, he didn't go for it to turn 1. I'm quite surprised there. I wonder though, there was a car coming out of the pit lane, so I wonder whether he opted not to make the move because of the car coming out of the pit lane. So that would have been Paul that would have pitted, I would guess.
Yes, he is now on the primes with Stringby right behind him, about 2 temps, not even that now. Stringby's trying to line up a move.
Now, it's quite possible while these guys are battling that they could be gaining on Hindle, or because they're battling, they're going to be losing out on Hindle. Oh, Stringy's going for it, up the inside. Has he got the move done?
A nice move into turn 10, and Hindle's lost connection.
I'm not overly surprised on that one, because while I was riding on board with him, he did seem to be having a few connection issues. So this now is the battle for the lead, and we've got Mulrine and Mybad ahead of them that haven't pitted yet. They've got to be pitting soon. They're both into the pits. So
and we've got a three-way fight between Stringby, Paul and Conzo. And Paul's got past Stringby on the straight, and Conzo's trying to slip Stringby into turn 1. This is going to be a close little battle. Conzo's gone to the right, and he didn't make the move. I think he's trying to be a little bit patient here.
Okay, looks like Jim and David Hart, he's now on the primes. Must have pitted a lap earlier. Where is Mulrine? Mulrine is... No, Mulrine didn't stop. He's carried on. He's still the leader of this race. He hasn't pitted yet, though. I wonder if he's going to be trying to go to lap 9. Not lap 9, because he's on lap 9. Lap 10. The problem is, he's already lost a pit stop to the guys. So he's now got to be wary of Jim, who's pitted and put the primes on.
And Mulrine's about 2 seconds in front of the battle for second, third and fourth here.
Oh, Stringy's
oh,
the
the contact!
Contact's made though, and a nice donut by Paul there. He liked it
2
so
donuts.
much he's done a second one, and nearly a third one as well.
Looks like he's taking an order for Homer Simpson.
I was going to say, that's just greedy, that is. Anyway, I mean, that's a bit unfortunate there. I mean, I think Stringy
Oh, there's been contact. Mulrine's hit the wall.
What? I didn't see it. I'll watch on the live stream. I'm going to watch the replay of it.
Just caught the edge of Mulrine spinning at the edge of the last corner.
Oh, I'm wondering if he's lost his front wing. I'm wondering if he actually went to try and get it into the pits, got it wrong. He's now driven the wrong way up the track to try and get into the pit lane, and I think he's been disqualified because it's been parked up next to the pit wall. I think his race is now over. I can only guess that he was going for the pit lane and didn't make it. He's in the garage. His race is over. How unfortunate is that? It did look like he'd gone for the pit lane, got it wrong, smashed it into the wall, spun him round, and then because he's tried to get back to the pit lane, it means that he's been disqualified from the event. He won't be happy about that one. But sometimes that's what happens if you take your tyres long. They're going to suffer when it comes to braking zones and turning. We've got a change for the lead. Is it going to be a change for the lead?
Oh, Stringbee's keeping it very... They just keep in front. But Connor's right on the back of him, about a tenth separating these. As we go into turn 14 and 15, Connor following right behind.
Stringy's had a right moment there over the final chicane though, and Connor's all over the back. Connor's going to have him. Connor's going to go and win 2 in 2 days, I can see here. He'll be buzzing if he does.
I can't believe it. He couldn't get in front of Stringbee. Maybe the not enough downforce. Maybe it's gone too low.
I'm wondering whether Connor has actually got quite high downforce. So I've got a message here from Jason that says, "Come on, Marcus, show what you've got." Now he either knows Stringy B, and his name's Marcus, or Jason means, "Come on, Marcus."
Oh, what a move!
That was a nice move. See, that's how you do it in that corner. You give each other room. I was about to say, yeah, Jason said, "Come on, Marcus, show what you've got." We'll leave that, shall we? Show what you've got. That could be because Jason is...
Oh, Stringbee's got past!
Stringy's got back through!
Past near the cancer corner.
They're having a right ding-dong battle here. And this is usually if there's an American go, "I'd love a ding-dong right now." That's my attempt at an American accent, that's a shocker. So anyway, yeah, Jason's Swedish. Connor is currently in the Swedish coloured car, which could be Marcus Ericsson's car, so there's possible 2 connections with that. I tell you what though, Paul looks like he's catching up a bit here after his initial spin.
And we've got Connor, he's on the start-finish straight. He's going to have DRS 2 tenths, maybe 3 tenths behind Stringbee. It looks like he's lining up for a pass, but he's going to follow him into turn 1 and into turn 2. And he's following closely behind, going into the Renault corner, and he's trying to make a move, but Stringbee's aware to it.
I tell you what, I've just had a quick look through the grid, and Paul is catching up with these 2 a little bit. Then we've got Dave the Harp, who's not actually that far behind Paul. Both cars locking up on my view here. Yeah, he's not that far behind Paul. And then we've got Jim, and Jim's probably wondering where the bloody hell Michael Mulrine has disappeared.
Oh, there's been contact!
It looked like contact. I'm going to watch the replay.
Yeah, there was contact. Konzo's got past through some contacts somehow, and Paul's chasing Konzo right down. There must be 2 seconds in it.
You had the same view that I did, and it did look like there was possibly contact there. It's an unfortunate one for Stringy B. I have just had a message on the Front Row Racing Twitch channel saying, from Hindle saying, "I disconnected." we know. We did see your car lagging about a bit, so I'm not overly surprised that you got disconnected there. Bit of a shame that. Bit of advice though, just make sure no one else is using your internet and turn off whatever adult programs you were watching on the side. So yeah, do whatever you can to make sure your internet connection is nice and strong.
Stringbeat doesn't look like he's got damage. He's carrying on. He's third position now, trying to chase down Paul.
Now that will have cheered Paul up a bit, seeing that car reappear not too far ahead of him. I tell you what though, Dave the Heart really is not that far behind the leading 3 cars. And I think he's showing a little bit of pace that he didn't really show in the World Championship on Wednesday. Begs the question though, because you're allowed to use assists here. Has that Ferrari got some additional assists bolted to it?
Well, he's going to have to try and pull out all the stops now. There's 4 laps to go, and he's going to want to get on that podium.
Now, if he could get on the podium, it'd be an absolute buzz for Dave here. Because I don't think he's actually been on a podium. I mean, I'm trying to think. He was the World Trophy champion when we had the World Trophy running. Then last season he was in the World Series. And I don't think the World Series really went as well for him as he would have liked. He stuck it on pole a number of times, very quick over the 1 lap. But in the races, especially against the hashtag padhack users from last season's game, he used to get annihilated off the line, and he'd end up going from pole to 4th every single race. And then he could never really claw it back to get on the podium. But at the moment, we've got Connor in 1st, Paul in 2nd, Stringy B in 3rd, and Dave the Harp not that far away in 4th. My lad's in 5th.
It looks like the action's starting to settle down. There's a good little gap between 1st and 2nd and 2nd and 3rd. But I'm sure when we get closer to the end of the race, there's going to be more attacking happening.
Quite possibly. Well, while we've got this little momentary lull, did you get to see the picture that Steve sent me, which was as usual, "Hey Dave, look at what I found on the internet this week"?
Was it a picture of a potential girlfriend?
No, that was later on in the night. It was the picture of the guy in the Spanish football team's t-shirt.
I didn't see that, no. What was it about?
Oh, you'll have to have a look at the admin's chat. Rich Davies actually commented. I'll get to these comments in a moment. While we have got a lull, I was going to say, do you want to mention about what the format is for the Front Row Racing League and what we're doing for the Front Row Racing FRR-idays?
Yeah, basically what it is an open event. If you message the page either on Twitter, Front Row Racing PS3, or on Facebook at Front Row Racing, you can ask to be a driver in the Fridays Cup. Have a good couple of performances. You don't have to be quick, just clean, maybe good at racecraft, maybe not, where you can learn, but you're just safe on track. And then you never know where you can happen. You could be racing in World Series if after a good few races, and as if you use assists, World Series is great for you. If you want to race pure like the real F1 drivers, World Championship could be your way. As long as you have a good few races, you know, you don't know where it's going to take you. Just message us.
That's all we got to do, isn't it? Okay. Right, I'm going to get on to the Richie Davies comments here. Padhack users come off the hype. And then he's also put wheel hack users this year then, no tyre wear, lol. Well, when it comes to the tyre wear on this version of the game, I mean obviously I've done quite a few commentaries and so have yourself. And I have noticed how much a lot of the guys tend to lock up their tyres. Now, it's not a wheel hack or a pad hack. What it is, when you're using a wheel, you have more brake travel, so you can really control what you're doing with the brake pedal. And that means, for example, myself, I always try and drive in a way that will not lock a tyre. That way it saves you tyre wear. Now if you're on a controller, it's much more difficult to have that level of braking adjustment. So the chances are there for those big lockups, especially if you brake a little late and go full brakes. Because the way the brakes work on this game is, for example, turn 1 here, you can go full on the brakes straight away. But once you get down to about 4th gear, you've got to be coming off those brakes. If you don't, you're going to lock up. And that's one of the big differences with the wheel and the pad. But also, it's the quality of the driver behind the wheel.
Well, we knew that comment was coming.
Yeah, too right. I've got to have a bit of humour to it. Oh, by the way, you know, I told you when we was getting ready for the World Championship race, I cut my leg.
Yes.
Yeah, I proper cut it. I had blood dripping down my leg all the way through that race. And I actually, while doing the World Series last night, I was thinking, right, okay, I'm going to take a picture of this, send it to Dom as a compensation claim. As a joke, but I thought, no, I better not. Okay, so so we're getting into we're about to get into the last lap of the race then.
On board with Paul exiting the last corner. It's about 1.2 seconds behind Connor, and he looks like he's catching him up, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
I think the gap has just sort of stabilised and levelled out a bit now. Paul's still he's going to push it and he's going to try. I mean, he will have felt that in last night's World Series race he had a chance to win it. Oh, it's wide. He's
very wide. Rally cross there.
Yeah, I think he felt he had a chance of winning the race last night. If it wasn't for an unfortunate collision, that's all I'm saying on that one at the moment. Okay, we're getting into the last lap. So, Adam, it's time for you to start picking your way through your memories of the race to try and pick some form of driver of the day for this FRR-idays Cup event in Spain.
My driver of the day is going to be Connor. He's drove well, and I think he's just paced his race, so he's not pushing his tyres too much, and he's just finding his way to a decent position. And he's a good moment in his racing career at the moment. Online racing is working out for him. But the most memorable moment has to be the crash for Paul Ryan. Very spectacular.
Oh yeah, into the pit wall. He gets crash of the day. I think that's fair to say.
How about your moment of the race and driver?
Oh, I don't remember what happened. Oh, for this race, I thought he was on about for my own personal race. You know what? Connor's had a fantastic race here, and I'm not going to give any kind of pick of a driver of the day. I'll agree with yours. But what I will say is, you look at Stringy and Hindle. First event in the league, and in all honesty they were off track a little bit at times, but we expect that with some of the new guys. That's why we put on these events, and to be fair, they did fairly well. I mean, Hindle was leading the race for a while, so I think those two did fairly well, to be honest, and Jason will be happy with Marcus Ericsson up on the podium there.
Yeah, I think they did very well. First time in the event, you know, they've got to learn just to keep everything inside the track, be respectful to other drivers, which they did. So yeah, a very positive evening for them.
Definitely. I think as well, it's never easy to just come and race with people you've never raced before, because you don't know what kind of things they're going to do into a braking zone, or in what way they may want to overtake. But I was having a little look at the old race director here, and we've got a slightly stringy connection. But this is the thing, right? We can look at the race director here and see the kind of things that the drivers have perhaps been pulled up for, and that's where we can have a word with the drivers and go, okay, yeah, you know what? Come and join us again next Friday, and just try and keep it a little more on the track or what have you.
Yeah, I agree. A bit of advice, a bit of nurturing will just help them loads.
Definitely. Now, for moment of the day, I mean, there was a few. I mean, Michael into the pit wall, well, that's just classic, that is. But there was some really good racing in that, some really good overtakings, some really good battles. But I'm going to... all I'm going to finish off with saying is, for anyone that's viewing, don't forget to watch the Front Row Racing World Championship on Wednesday and the Front Row Racing World Series on Thursday. And I shall leave it to you, Adam, to sign off for us.
Yeah, I'd like everyone to join in next week in watching World Championship and World Series, and especially the Fridays Cup as well. It is at Monaco, so you're going to see a lot of action, probably a few crashes as well. But just message the Front Row Racing page and on Twitter, Front Row Racing PS3. but I'd like to thank everyone for watching. I'd like to thank Front Row Racing DP, especially the drivers. I've been Front Row Racing NW. Thank you for joining us and have a good night.